Hey, how are you doing, guys? I hope you're all doing fine, because today's topic is a juicy one. Y'all probably heard about the whole drama between Trish and Jeffree Stars. For y'all who don't even know what's happening right now, hairbyjay was ranting on Instagram Live about how Trisha is fat and talking about how her skin does look awful and just ranting about how ungrateful person she is that they paid for a trip, even paid for a room. And he said all this because Trisha apparently said that Hair by Jay charged him too much for the wig he was making for Trisha. But he was just so super rude about it and was just bullying her to the point where Trisha actually made a response where she was crying. And I found it a bit weird for Trisha to be crying about this, but then I saw the response and apparently she was scared what Jeffree Star would do to her because they were bullying her the whole trip and she was going through I think 3 suicidal attempts when she ended up in the mental hospital and just Jeffree Star's acting like a dick to her.
He admits to talking shit about my skin because he goes on in the video to say like the house I live in now is rented. I never said I owned it. Which that was their mean girl stuff, that I couldn't afford stuff, that they threw my Balenciaga in the trash, that they gave away a bag to Rich Lux, that they wouldn't give me my camera. Like there were so many worse things going on, and he offered to put money towards the jet. I did all this, and it just like the fact that that's what like Jeffree has to hold over people is like I paid for all this shit and stuff like that is so disgusting and gross to me. And then the fact that like all of this I already knew from like reaching for a nacho and Jeffree slapping my hand and saying don't eat, and like just constantly like if I asked for like the price, like oh why are you asking for prices, like talking about me being on drugs and my sobriety to people. It was beyond that. It was him texting me saying, I asked him where my Balenciaga was that I purchased because I purchased Balenciaga with them, and he's like, oh, we're gonna bring it up to my room, and I'm like, hey, I left early that night, and I was like, hey, where's my Balenciaga? He's like, Maddie threw it in the trash. And I needed that hoodie to go home. He would call me at like 4 a.m. the day I was leaving. I was like, hey, come downstairs, we're all here. I would go down into the casino by myself and they wouldn't be there and he wouldn't answer. And it was just nasty, mean girl shit. He gave me a present or whatever. I put my camera in that present, this bag. He gave the bag away with my camera in it to Rich Lux. And I was like, that's my camera. Like, I just need that back. I don't care about bag. I don't care about gifts. And the fact that they're trying to, oh, he paid for this trip. I can pay for my own trips. I paid for me and my boyfriend's trip to Greece first class. Like, I can pay for my own trips.
You might ask, through all this, where was Shane Dawson? When she was talking with Shane about how traumatized she felt, Shane was just like,
here now Shane, and I never heard him this way, just to be like, come over and let's forget about it, and like, oh, like Jeffree's been loyal to me though. It's like the fact that he said, I thought you guys were going to be able to work it out, and I just didn't want to believe that you said it's true.
just forget about it. I'm really glad people finally see for who you really are, alright? And the people you hang out with says a lot about you too. Cause believe it or not, I was a big Shane Dawson fan back in the days. And the whole messed up shit he did back in the days, I didn't even notice it until it was put out on the internet as weird. Cause at that age I was like 12 or 13 when I watched Shane Dawson. And he did weird shit like spitting gum into a fan's mouth or doing blackface or just in general being an asshole towards a old friend of her, a black chick if I'm right, calling her a dumb bitch and saying the N-word. Because at that time nobody found it weird and we as kids didn't know even better, and I didn't even know about blackface at that age. But anyways, as I saw Shane Dawson growing and growing as a person and as a channel, I found himself every time with newer friends around him. Until eventually he ended up with Tati and all those makeup gurus like Jeffree Stars also. And I already found it weird that Shane Dawson was doing all these documentaries about these people like Dana Mojo and Jake Paul, because those people had bad names or their reputation. But I think it was all about the views and the money or the fame, because ever since he was young he was obsessed with becoming famous, if you know what I mean. You can see this in his behavior and how he acts nowadays. And Shane also is a very superstitious person. Alright, he believes in many things like ghosts. He even believed that fake psychiatrist or something about diagnosing Jake Paul as a sociopath, I think. And he's basically obsessed with psychopath and sociopaths. Okay, now let's get back to the Hair by Jay and Trish situation. He basically confirmed that Trish has been bullied by them, and Jeffree and he talk shit behind her back, which is fucking rude and also very lame of them to do. If you got a balls to say it behind her back, why don't say it in the face, you know? I mean, considering the way how you bullied her through the whole experience, like slapping food out of her hand and calling her skin ugly and shit, they should first look in the mirror, because I don't want to blast everyone, because I think most of the people look beautiful, but Jeffree has to put on 10 layers of makeup just to look like a decent person, alright? And nobody is that rich to get their skin constantly cared for like rich people, alright? So go flex your rich ass somewhere else, you f***ing asshole. I'm not afraid of Jeffree Stars or anything. Also don't Hair by Jay, because personally I don't know them, they don't know me, so why should I be scared, you know? And everybody got imperfections, you know? I mean, Hair by Jay looks like he can land a plane on that forehead. But then again, nobody is perfect, so there's no need to point out other people's imperfections if you yourself aren't perfect, alright? Then again, nobody is really perfect, so... And don't get me wrong, I don't actually like Trisha, but I think she is the most realest person on the internet. From her videos alone, you can already see what type of person Trish is, you know? She doesn't lie that much about her personality, she doesn't put on a fake facade. I think she's one of the realest persons on the internet. Even as going as far as to defend Shane till the very end, until he didn't even do nothing about the time she got bullied by Jeffree Star, and Shane defending Jeffree Star's like, forget all about it and that shit. It just shows how much Shane has lost control of his own ego. In my book, there's two possibilities. Jeffree Star either got dirt on Shane Dawson, like, I know everybody got dirt on Shane Dawson right now, but maybe something even horrificer than we thought. Or he and Jeffree Star got a business going on, which makes themselves lots of money, and I think Shane Dawson wants to have that connection just because he doesn't want to lose all his income. But that's just a theory, alright? This isn't 100% fact, alright? But yeah, the fact that Shane Dawson didn't even respond it, and Ryland had to respond on his podcast, like, seriously? And it wasn't even titled somewhat like that way. People had to find out that he responded on his podcast. And it was really dumb, because the man was confused the whole time, and he said he had to reach out to us if you felt that way. But Trish already said in his video about how he talked about Shane Dawson about it and reached out to him and talked about how he was treated by Jeffree Stars. And he just said to forget it. What do you think she's going to do, alright? She's going to make a video if this is going to get out of hand like this. Like Hair by Jay threatening her and saying she doesn't have a house and that kind of shit. And he would come for her or something, you know, threatening her. And she already made it clear that she's scared of Jeffree Stars. So why do you guys act now like you care for Trish? Because clearly you didn't. You cared more about your friendship with Jeffree Stars. Someone with more influence, someone who has more power than Trish, than a friend from 12 years ago. That's how corrupt Shane Dawson and Ryland has become. And the fact that Garrett and Drew doesn't even hang out with them anymore. I mean, those were some of the best person I knew, and I liked them so much from the Shane Dawson series about ghost hunting and conspiracy theories and all that bullshit. Says to me a lot that he has changed. And that comeback of Shane has to wait, I think, about 20 years now, because nobody's gonna forgive that guy for what he done. I mean, Shane Dawson portrayed himself always as this caring person, but in reality, if you look at the behind the scenes of some of the movies he did, you can see how much of an ego person this is.
The script is not that raunchy. Somebody out there is a rat, and they're going around saying this is the raunchiest movie ever made, and it's pissing me the off.
He says, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've had clients that have gone online, watched Shane's stuff, and said, I don't want to be a part of that.
When I was an actor, I was auditioning for everything. I don't quite understand the logic of being picky when you have no job.
Well, no, but that's the problem. They do have jobs.
It's been mentioned many, many times the is a problem for people. So if we just like lose that, I'm just saying.
I'm not taking anything out of the movie to please a bunch of out-of-work actors in Pittsburgh who should be lucky to get an audition for a feature film. One review said that if you enjoy my movie, you must be a sociopath.
That was in the Los Angeles Times.
I know, so we can use it, but say if the opening montage doesn't have Facebook and it's like generic, whatever.
Do you not understand what I'm saying?
I
She
do.
says Facebook
No, I do.
stuff.
It's okay. It's okay.
Then why are you saying it's not okay if
Because
you say
she's saying it
twice?
so many times that
So we
it's
can
like.
only say it once?
So
then we either can say it or we can't.
No, that's not.
Do you understand what she's saying?
It's
No, I don't either.
just
Okay.
just the
Let's
second
get to,
one, the
let's
line.
get to acting notes and not like word notes.
Also, when he exploded because of rage, because of Tati's response, that was really unprofessional. And him saying,
Oh my God. You are so manipulative. You're fake crying. You are fake crying. You are fake crying. That is not real. Oh my God.
you know, it's really immature, and it really says something about Shane Dawson nowadays. And also the fact he hangs out with Jeffree Stars the whole time. I mean, that guy is a prick. He did so many bad things in his life, and he thought it was a good idea to redeem him. I don't even know what's going on with Shane's head now. Ryland even said that she should have held it private and private messaged them about how they felt. But it's like she got attacked fucking live on Instagram, and you guys were just doing absolutely nothing. Great friends you are. Then when she makes a video about it and crying all and being all emotional about it, how it triggered her, you guys are like, oh, you should have asked us privately. Like, f off actually. Alright, f off. Jeffree also responded in a tweet like, just look at this tweet, alright? Jeffree says, don't drag me into new drama. Well, your best buddy hairbyjay did it already for you, so saying you're not interested or that person doesn't represent you doesn't mean jack shit. Alright? The way he talked about it basically confirms that you guys were shit talking behind Trisha's back. And saying it was between you and her is completely irrelevant if your friend hairbyjay was trying to paint you in a light like you did everything for Trish. Alright? She isn't going to shut up and just suck it up, alright? Of course she's going to be upset if this is what's being said about her. So whatever you say, Jeffree, you already got dragged in this drama the moment hairbyjay opened his mouth and talked shit about Trish, alright, and called your name. Then he responded with this tweet to Trisha's response to those tweets. And I understand Trish not wanting to talk to Jeffree anymore because he's scared of him. Doesn't want to get involved in Jeffree in any way possible. But then he responds like this, alright? No thank you, love you girl, you can call or text me anytime. This is the part that sounds the most fakest to me, alright? If you and hairbyjay were talking shit behind her back and then now saying no thank you, love you girl and all this kind of bullshit, that just more confirms to me that you guys talk shit and then act friendly towards her, but you guys are really fake. Just to avoid getting involved into drama, which you already are in, so just suck it up and respond in a normal way. And own up to the friends you have, alright? Because in my eyes, you guys are just as fake as each other as Shane Dawson is to Trish now. Just throwing each other under the bus, you know, those type of friends, and just talking shit about each other's back. Which is exactly the mean kind of girl behavior I don't like. If you don't like the person, just don't be friends with them. There's no way to have to act like a dick or just be fake kind to them. Especially if they didn't even do anything wrong at all. Not to mention how hairbyjay actually doxed her company and her phone number on stream. And Shane in all this is just being silent. The man doesn't even respond or anything, and I get wanting to stay out of drama because of the reputation he has now, but this even more slanders his reputation as being a Jeffree Star underdog actually. But yeah, anyways, Trish actually moved on from this and blocked them both on Twitter. And I say, you go girl, you know. You have to take shit of these type of scum people who are just in it for the fame and money, alright? I mean, at least you got Ethan now and your podcast, and I hope that people would stop bullying other people, but that's just impossible nowadays with people like Jeffree Star and hairbyjay. But anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to help a brother out. This has been Broski. Goodbye.